displaying the glory of God's creation by exploring America one park at a time. Welcome to Parking Full Time with Big Dave, the park's professor. 10th hole. The par and distance are at the top of the screen. This hole is a transition hole between the lightly wooded picnic area that dominated the front 9 and the densely wooded area that dominates the back 9. This hole is kind of tight, although there are definitely tighter holes to come. I want to welcome you back to Parking Full Time. I am Big Dave, the park's professor. There are two distances that I gave you at the top of the screen. That's because there are two possible basket positions for this hole. We're going to angle to the left here to the left basket position. The other basket position is off to the right in this area. Also, the 11th tee is across the main park road, which is behind this basket. There's the view from behind the basket back down the fairway to the tee. Now we go over to the north side of the park road where we're going to stay for the next 6 holes. The 11th hole is short and straight, but also very tight. In fact, this entire part of the course, all of these holes are very tight. Also, the terrain over here is really flat. There's basically no elevation change anywhere on the back 9. We are at Hickory Run State Park. We are in northeast Pennsylvania. This is a very large park with a nice 19-hole disc golf course. This course has a few warts, but overall I enjoyed my round here. The 12th hole is another short and really tight, tighter than the previous hole, and very flat hole. Early European settlers, when they came to this area, they called this area Shades of Death because the ground here is so rocky and rooty that it didn't make for good farming. And you can kind of see the dark nature of this area. Also, the ground is still very rocky and rooty today, so you have to kind of be careful where you step around here. There's the 12th basket, and there's the view back to the tee. 13th hole is another fairly short, very tight and very flat hole. This hole is a slight dogleg left, but other than that, it's like the previous couple of holes. Honestly, the 6 holes up here to the north of the park road are not my favorite part of this course. All of the holes are very similar, they're all heavily wooded, they're all roughly the same length, and they're all very tight. I captured this video on Tuesday, September the 19th, and it was a glorious day with temperatures in the upper 60s when I came here. There's the 13th basket, and there is the view back to the tee. Hole number 14 is another fairly short, very tight, very heavily wooded, and very flat hole. Honestly, I think these holes would be a little bit better if they cleared out some of this underbrush and some of the smaller trees here, and to give you some more choices in terms of where you throw your disc. Also, possibly the most controversial thing on this course is coming in sight right up here, and that's this stone wall that stands about 20 feet in front of the basket. To me, that seems contrived, although maybe it adds a little bit of difficulty and challenge. Maybe it's clever if you like it. Personally, again, I think it's just contrived. So I don't like it. But there are differing opinions. Hole number 15 is a little bit shorter. It's one of the few holes on this course that is under 200 feet if the basket is in the front position. But really, it's more of the same. It's very tight, very flat, very heavily wooded. You can see the basket coming up here. This part of the course really does get quite repetitive in my view. There's the view back to the tee. The 16th hole is the last hole on the north side of the park road. On one level, it's kind of more of the same. It's really flat and it's really tight and really heavily wooded. On the other hand, this hole is longer and it is a sharp dogleg left. And we're going around the dogleg right here. There's no mando on the inside of the dogleg, but the woods in there are really dense. and I know at least I would have a really hard time getting a disc through the inside of the dogleg. Normally I don't like holes with sharp doglegs like this one, but honestly it's kind of nice to play something that's at least a little bit different from what we've played in the past few holes. Coming up to the basket here, you can see just how dense these woods are here. There's the basket, and there's the view back to the tee. We go back down to the south side of the park road now for the last two holes. On the 17th hole, there's a little island of trees that sits between the tee and the basket, directly between the tee and the basket. You could possibly go around either side, although we're going to walk around the right-hand side. To me, that seemed a little bit easier to get through there. It's a little bit wider, and at least for me, it fits my natural disc flight better. There is a fairly low ceiling, and there are a lot of trees to deal with here. So this is a short hole, but it's a little bit easier to deal with. You have a little more room to maneuver than you did on some of the previous holes. The 18th and final hole is another sweeping dogleg left. It's similar in style to the 16th hole, but it's shorter and also a little bit more open. Also, there is a mando on the inside of the dogleg. That mando is probably unnecessary due to the dense woods, but it's there nonetheless. Since this is the last hole, I do want to thank you for watching. Parking full time would not be anything without the people who watch. I realize that every day, and I thank you every day. I do like this course. It's got a couple of warts. There are some safety issues on the front 9, and it gets a little repetitive on the back 9, but overall, I enjoyed my time here. That's the end of the course. Have a great afternoon, take care, and Lord bless.